Rape is one of the most violating and traumatic experiences, and for many, seeking justice creates secondary trauma. Many victims live in silence for fear of more stigmatism or even more violence. This week, an elderly man was in the Tembisa court for allegedly raping his two stepdaughters. The mother of the girls aged 12 and 16 kept silent over the abuse, which occurred over a period of 3 years.
This Women Month celebration of August, we happen to have youth across Gauteng and we were engaging with them. Some of the youth came out and they were able to tell horrific stories that their mothers are encouraging them to date men in exchange for groceries at homes. It is happening. We see it minors with the blessings of their mothers. Now we see that while we think in a society we've got problems with men who are taking advantage of women, children.
For many, after the actual sexual assault, taking the steps to report is daunting.
I personally don't think that the cases reported, the data matches the actual cases. I think we're probably reporting 20% of the rape and GBV cases because of the 80% is still reluctant to come forward and report.
When you go and report a case, at that very same moment, you are like most vulnerable, and no one advises you that you don't have to make a statement at that point in time when you're vulnerable. When you go through the statement, you are obviously not on your normal senses, so you will sign for whatever. And when you go to court, and the minute they read your statement, it's a complete different thing that you cannot challenge.
While on paper policies are in place to assist victims, the reality is a far cry.
The system is doing its best. However, there is always room to improve. And I think the human element in the systems, because from a policy point of view, there is priority where women and GBV and rape cases are prioritized on documents, on policy. But when it comes to the human element, we lack.
When it comes to the police, there's still a lot that needs to happen and we need to work with them. Most of the time when we talk to them, they say after the arrest, it's up to the magistrate. But sometimes they drag their feet and question victims more than they shoot the perpetrators.
We need people on the front line to be sensitive to issues of gender-based violence because there are resources, but people that are there, they just don't do what is expected to do. You know, if you go as a woman and you say that your husband is assaulted you, being told that go back and resolve this as a family, it is disheartening because you have actually tried that. So there is sensitivity, it's needed. Number two, it's accountability. People need to be reported and people need to be disciplined. So that will ensure that people do what is expected.
For more cases to be reported and justice to be served for victims, many agree that there needs to be a shift in how cases are handled. Hasina Gori, SABC News, Johannesburg.